What's up, guys? Mason the Brock Henderson here, and this is the Blacklist Season 8, Episode 7, Chemical Mary. So it's funny because how it should have ended just uploaded there, how Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 should have ended video today. So the High Evolutionary was on my mind whenever this episode began, because, yeah, it's one of those things. How could you make somebody instantly unlikable and just, you absolutely hate them? Show them killing animals or torturing them or whatever. Yeah, this is definitely an episode I would not be able to show my girlfriend either, because especially with pigs, it would not be okay. But yeah, so overall, I'm still not really on board with all of this. We see Elizabeth apparently getting her way again. She uses the freelancer to make it seem like she's trying to kill Chemical Mary, when in reality she's trying to, I guess, convince Chemical Mary to work with her. And then on top of that, she gives Reddington the name so that way he can track him down, and then they can get the FBI task force to stop them. And I don't know, it's like, once again, they're trying to play both sides. They want to show, okay, so Liz is willing to go to all these levels to try to kill Reddington, but she's not actually willing to go there, guys, so she's still a good person. Yeah, she's still willing to put so many people's lives in danger. Because there's no guarantee, even if the FBI task force does manage to track down the freelancer based on her information to Red, track down which flight, all of this stuff, there's still no guarantee that the pilot has enough time, or that the co-pilot finds the thumb drive, or that they even believe that there's a threat in the first place. Like, there's so many things that she cannot account for them to say, oh yeah, she's still a good person because she wanted them to find the freelancer and stop her plan of crashing the planes. She's still a good person. Yes, she set these planes up to crash, but because she gave them a little bit of information that they used to stop them, that means she's still good deep down, because she put all these people's lives in danger, but she gave them a way out. That's La Fleur de Mal. That is what they did. They gave the people a way to get out of these traps that would kill them, but they'd have to do, some, like, it's not exactly the same, but it's along the same line of reasoning. You put these people in this position where they were about to die on a plane crash. Just because you gave the team a way to stop it does not suddenly make you in the morally good area. You're still a terrible person for what you did. So that whole scene at the end, whenever Reddington finds that out, he's like, oh, okay, so she did want me to stop her. Okay, good. I feel better about it. Why do you feel better about it? She's still the one that set this all up to begin with. That doesn't suddenly make her okay. Oh, God. The writing for this season is just really frustrating, because it feels like they want to seem intelligent. They want to seem like their writing is so clever, and ooh, look at this. We're setting Liz to be a very morally complex character. Should you trust her? Should you not? Is she a good guy? Is she a bad guy? Nobody knows. When it's really not that morally complex at all. She's a bad person. She's evil. She's willing to put people's lives, innocent people's lives, in danger to get what she wants. Reddington, for all of his flaws, he doesn't do that. He doesn't. He doesn't send innocent people into the crossfire to get the FBI to save them for his He will sometimes use them to get his way, but he doesn't put innocent people in the crossfire. He doesn't like doing that. He doesn't want innocents involved. Liz, just like her mom has shown, innocent people caught in the crossfire, totally okay. Totally fine to put all these people's lives in danger if it means you get what you want. And that's not a good person. That is not somebody I want to root for. That's not somebody I want to support. And yet, here we are. The show is making it seem like, oh no, guys, Liz is still a good person. She's just trying, to kill the man that killed her mom. And so because of that, you should sympathize. And I do not. We got a little bit more. Honestly, it was kind of weird because we started off this episode, Park remembering what just happened in the last episode, a little too long, in my opinion. Because it really felt like, okay, we saw this scene in the last episode. We don't need the whole scene to play out again. But they played out pretty much the whole scene again. but that's about it. We don't get much more from her. We did get one line though that I really did like, where they were saying, no, Liz wouldn't do this, and she's like, well, she's not really Agent Keen anymore, is she? And I don't know, I like that line from her because it does sort of show that Wrestler and Rom and Cooper, they are probably letting their emotions get to them a little bit too much. So it's nice to have a little bit of an outside perspective from her for a second. And then, of course, Cooper opening the thumb drive. I mean, it's a bit of luck. He didn't know about the thumbprint before, Reddington drank out of the scotch glass, so a little bit of luck on his side, but obviously now that he's opened it, I don't know what is in it. I don't know what he's about to figure out, but of course we see as he's opening the drive, Reddington is being told if he finds out what's in it, you're going to have to take him out, so I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen there. I really doubt Reddington's going to get rid of Cooper because I think he really respects him. So I wonder what is in that drive, though, that Reddington doesn't want people to find out. And I wonder how it'll come back to haunt not just him, but also the team as well. But, yeah, I mean, all in all, it's still a frustrating mainline story to deal with, and yeah, that's the biggest problem with it right now. I mean, the episode itself is not bad. The setup itself is not bad, but you've got to give us a better reason. Or even if you're not going to give us a reason to root for Liz, then make her a bad person. Show that she has been so tainted by all of the stuff that Reddington has done and then all the manipulation from her mom last season. Show her being an evil person because she's been tainted to be this way. It's not entirely her fault because she was manipulated by her mom, but you're not showing it in that way. You're showing that, oh, well, she's still good deep down. Like, she just wants to kill Reddington. That's the only problem right now. And it's not the only problem. There's a lot more of a problem with her. So, that's just going to be my opinion. I probably need to stop harping on it because it feels like it is taking up a lot of my reviews, I know. So, I'll try to focus less on that as the season goes along. But anyways, that's it for this one. On to the next one. And now episode 8, Ogden Greeley. So unfortunately, this one kind of felt like it was just sort of taking a break from everything for a minute, which sometimes can be nice if it's been a very intense season, a lot of stuff happening and things just going crazy. But it's not really been that. It's been a lot of, Liz going on the run, dealing with that, trying to sympathize with her, but nobody does, all that stuff. So unfortunately, it took a plot that was already kind of middle of the road, kind of frustratingly boring in a way, because again, like I said before, it's nothing we've not seen before, and then it just kind of grinds it all to a halt so we can focus on this random defense contractor or former defense contractor who was selling secrets, and then Reddington meeting this random bird lady and having a connection with her. And that's unfortunately not that interesting. Because, yeah, I mean, I don't know. There wasn't much to it. There wasn't really anything long term that I can think of that this plays into. I mean, maybe the bird lady will come back. There's all this talk of Reddington, maybe he needs to enjoy the normal life, but Dembe's trying to tell him you can't. You gave that up a long time ago, blah, blah, blah. So, I don't know if they're hinting that maybe he's going to try to do that. Maybe at the end of this season or next season after all this stuff with Liz comes to a close. I don't know. Or maybe it's setting up for how the whole show is going to come to an end. Maybe he'll say he wants to put the life behind him and fake his death, become somebody new, and try to live a normal life. I don't know. But, yeah, I don't know. It's just not that interesting, unfortunately. The stuff with the case in this episode, I mean, just a guy basically was fed some stuff, manipulated to get him to sell secrets, and that's kind of it. It was a little interesting to see Cooper go through all this trouble to get a drone strike authorized, only to stop it when he saw Reddington was there. And I do think it does sort of show that Cooper and Reddington, while they don't trust each other enough to tell each other the whole story of what's going on and the stuff they're hiding, they still at least recognize that they need each other in a way. And on top of that, I mean, because we did see the one scene in the last episode where Reddington was told, hey, if Cooper finds out this information, you gotta kill him. Because of that, it is kind of interesting that Cooper basically just saved Reddington's life in this episode. I do wonder if that will come back at some point. Reddington will find out that Cooper has all the information on the drive, and he'll realize that he's been told he has to kill him, but of course he won't be able to bring himself to do it because of the fact that Cooper just saved his life in this one. That's maybe something that can be taken from this episode, but outside of that, just unfortunately wasn't that interesting. So that's kind of it. I don't really have anything else to say, because nothing really involved all the stuff with Elizabeth. It was just sort of focused here on this one episode, and it's a little frustrating, but we'll see what happens next. On to the next one. And finally, episode 9, the Cyranoid. Oh boy. Again, I'm going to try not to focus as much on all of the stuff with Liz, but Cooper's speech to Panabaker at the end of this episode got me so heated. Listening to him defend Liz. You don't understand. If you knew the whole story, if you knew everything she's been through, you'd be amazed at how well she's holding back. Sorry, what? She is working with criminals. She is letting criminals that she's captured out of prison. She just murdered a woman. And on top of that, she is working with Townsend, who is not just a criminal, he's a psychopathic criminal. And you could tell just by all, the acting that we're seeing from this guy, he's clearly crazy. But Liz is willing to work with him to kill Reddington. She was willing to let this woman die that she contracted, that she put in the middle of all of this, because she doesn't want to be controlled by Reddington. Again, the show writing her as if she's got the moral high ground when she does not. Already working with all of these people it was tanking that moral high ground from her. It was just completely tanking it to the ground. Just little plane crash, explosion. Like, her moral high ground was gone. And now she's willing to work with Townsend, who is probably the worst person we've seen on the show so far. Like, he's Reddington, but evil, basically. He has a whole criminal empire, it sounds like, working for him. I'm sure we'll figure out more about what exactly he's capable of over the next few episodes. She is willing to work with him. Honestly, the fact that Reddington's going up against a guy like that should tell you, okay, so maybe Reddington is not necessarily the worst person? Like, maybe there's something there if he's trying to take down a guy like Townsend? But no, the show's still writing Elizabeth as if she's in the right here. Cooper defends her to Panabaker. The team has all this information about Reddington and just hiding it from him, trying to track down the hacker, instead of just talking to him about... Again, how many times are we going to do this story where, we figured out this stuff. Oh, here it comes, don't talk. Hey, how's it going, Reddington? And how many times are we going to do this shit? It happens so often in the show. At some point, you got to do something differently. Because all that's really changing from season to season is basically what the information is about. That's the only thing that's changed in the show. But what the show is about, the formula, is exactly the same. It's stuff we've seen done to death. So can we please get something different? Now that the Townsend directive, whatever it's called, is in play, now that Townsend himself is in play and coming after Reddington, can we please have Reddington go, all right, here's the whole story, and talk to the team and be like, we need to prepare for this? Or is he still going to do his little charade, pretend like nothing's wrong, give him another case? At some point, you would think, right? At some point, it would get so dire that he would finally change his mind. So that way he can at least give enough information. Maybe you don't have to reveal everything. I'm convinced that he's not what in 13 is. Maybe he technically is in 13. Maybe he there are parts of that are true, but I feel like there's something else going on that we don't know about yet. So, could he at least tell enough to get people involved and realize that he needs help? And that Townsend is somebody that should not be trusted, and Liz, by trusting him and going to him, is basically putting herself on the evil side of things. And how many times does she have to do evil stuff before the team finally goes, you know what? Maybe we shouldn't trust her anymore. You know? Like, I would think her committing murder in an FBI station, she had this woman shoot an FBI agent. Obviously, but it was a bulletproof vest, and she knew that. Okay, so she shot him. And then she attacked another FBI agent. She locked a ROM in the room after she murdered a woman. It doesn't matter if the woman was evil. She still murdered her. That's not her decision. So she's done all of this. Can the team finally go, you know what? Maybe we should stop just trusting her and just letting her go. But they still do. Every single time. They keep falling for it. They keep just going, no, Liz, please don't do this. Please don't do... Oh, no, she turned the tables on us. If only we had been a bit more forceful. Everybody's just acting like dumbasses. And it's pissing me off. Because this show has not been this stupid before. And for whatever reason, ever since they turned Liz into an evil person, everybody's acting dumb. And I'm sorry, but... Liz, in my opinion, it's not that she's not an interesting enough character for me to sympathize. It's the fact that you've not given her, in my opinion, a good reason for me to sympathize. Because again, her mom was not a good person. Her mom was manipulating her. Her mom was evil. She was killing innocent people. She killed FBI agents. Probably people that Liz knew and worked with. She killed those people because she wanted to get to Reddington. And now Liz, after Reddington killed her because of all of this, wants to do the same thing. How does that make any sense? Also, I'll mention this too. She got, what, I think they said 36 million euros, which is like $41 million, I think. How is she doing she's contracted a lot of people. So obviously, the one guy, Skip, is probably helping her boost that income a little bit. It still seems like she's doing a lot with, a few $1 million, $41 million is not anything to scoff at. Obviously, that's a lot of money. But I feel like Reddington most of the time is working in the billions. So 41 million in that world would get her maybe a few contacts, get her a few people to work for her. She's getting all these different people to come work for her. Skip must be cooking the books. Somehow he must be, like, he did some good investing or maybe some offshore accounts that have raised her profile some more, because she has to have at least $1 billion if she's hiring all of these people to do stuff for her, right? Are they going to address that, or are we just going to assume that $41 million is enough to build a criminal empire? Because it would get you some. It would build you up a little bit, but unless she's going to get more money elsewhere, I don't think she'd have all of this set up and all of this planned. But we'll see. The only other thing to talk about is I'm guessing that for whatever reason Megan Boone was not available to work for these few episodes, because it's very clear that this is a good setup. The whole Cyranoid plot. It's a good setup because it makes sense that somebody in her shoes or other criminals who need to make deals, it makes sense to have something like this in the criminal world. And I do think that was kind of a clever thing to bring into the show. Because it's not something that I've seen done before that I can think of. It probably has been talked about because it seems pretty obvious. If you're a criminal lord, whatever, you send somebody in pretending to be you, and you can see and hear everything, so that way if they try to double cross you, you're not in any danger. It makes sense. So I'm sure it's been done before. It's just this is the first time I've seen it personally done. So it makes sense in the terms of the show, but it also, if Megan Boone was unavailable, whether, I know she was missing for a few episodes before because she was pregnant. I don't know if she got pregnant again or if something else happened that she was just unavailable to work. So, they showed this other person pretending to be Liz, and then they showed Liz in shadow from behind, so we didn't actually see her or hear her. So that you could just basically get a body double to stand in for her. And it does make me wonder, has this woman worked before as Megan Boone's body double or stand-in possibly? Because I feel like it would be something you could do, you know, like a stunt double comes in and pretends to be somebody who looks very similar, because that's what they do for a job. So I feel like you would almost benefit from having the stunt double be this person. So I'm curious. I do wonder if they decide to do that, because that would be pretty cool. But outside of that one thing, though, this episode was just, it was very frustrating again. So I'm sorry that I keep going and hammering this, you know, nail into the dead horse coffin. I don't know. Oh, my brain is so shot trying to come up with different what's the term? Figures of speech, I guess. I really hope that we see an ending in sight, because obviously they're not going to continue Liz versus Red for the rest of the show. You know, you've got 2 more seasons after this one, so I'm assuming this season 8 is Liz versus Red. So I'm guessing by the end of this season that will end, and I'm also guessing that neither of them are going to die. So I don't know how they're going to get to the point where they can work together. Maybe, I don't know, maybe if she exposes Reddington's plan and all of this stuff, maybe it will turn him into an enemy of the state, or maybe it will show what he's trying to do and the good that he's trying to do, but it also bring down the wrath of all of these other criminal organizations that are going to try to come for him and the task force. I don't know. I'm just kind of spitballing here as to some ideas of what season 9 and 10 could hold. But, God, it's just knowing that I'm not even halfway through this season yet, and I'm just not looking forward to seeing what the rest of the season's going to hold. Because it feels like it's going to be more of this, where Liz does some very questionable, possibly evil stuff, and then the task force goes, "Oh no, she's a good person. I believe in her. Look at what she did. She only killed an evil woman. I mean, sure, that's murder, but still, it was an evil woman, so it's fine that she did that. That's totally okay." I don't want to put up with that much more. So we'll see what happens next. But that's it for these 3. So let me know what you think down in the comment section below. What were your thoughts on these 3 episodes? Let me know what we can talk about, discuss, all that good stuff. Leave a like and subscribe for future Blacklist reviews, and I'll see you guys at the next one. Peace out.